Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is IZZATI Binti IRIANTO from group KA70 for final year project. I'm going to present about our project on which title is the assessment of standard concrete under damaged and undamaged condition using non-destructive test method. Our team member consists of 3 members which are led by me, followed by BALQIS AUJI and ZABUR with Dr. Muhammad Azim as our group advisor. A general introduction or research background of our project is concrete has become the most commonly utilized material in the construction of structures. The production of high-quality concrete began with a properly measured proportion of materials determining its compressive strength ahead of time may help contractors identify problems earlier and avoid the worst-case situation. Destructive testing on specimens taken during the building of structural elements are currently the most prevalent method for controlling the quality of concrete on site, and it makes the focusing method used in this study is ultrasonic pulse velocity UPV for undamaged condition and compressive strength test method for damaged condition. As for the objectives, 2 main goals need to be achieved for this project. Firstly is to determine compressive strength of standard concrete using DOE method, and secondly to analyze the impurity of standard concrete under undamaged condition using UPV. For project scope, the project will revolve around DOE method for concrete strength design using 7, 14 and 28 days of curing, with expected result of compressive strength affected by the numbers of curing days, and the impurity of concrete can be identified using UPV test. Next is for the review of literature. According to Shahidan 2016, concrete constructions must be analyzed so that they can be used long after they are constructed. Defects in structural concrete could also occur as a result of environmental factors and concrete aging. Besides that, according to Hebert 2020, cement and concrete are 2 of the most commonly utilized man-made materials. Cement used in construction is generally inorganic and made of lime or calcium silicate, and it is classified as either non-hydraulic or hydraulic. Next, according to Leonard W. Bell 2017, aggregates can be classified as natural or manufactured based on their origins and preparation procedure. To effectively grasp the function of aggregate in concrete performance, certain aggregate qualities must be identified and illustrated in terms of their impact on concrete properties. Finally, the overview of literature review is that there are 15 research reviews with a total of 16 project references respectively for this project.
Now, let's move on to our methodology process. In this chapter, our study process has been divided into 5 phases. For the start of our study, we had to make a material preparation, which are rigging the concrete mixed material and sieving our aggregate. The second phase was sample making, which is divided into 2 processes, which are mixing concrete material and slump test before case the concrete into cubic mold in size 100 mm cube. Then the third phase was curing process, which is done after 24 hours of concrete being mixed. For the fourth phase, we conduct 2 types of tests on our concrete samples that have been made, which are compressive strength and ultrasonic pulse velocity, or known as NUPV test. And for all these phases have been done at the concrete laboratory at campus University Tun Hussein On Malaysia, Pago. For the final phase, we perform an analysis of the data obtained from the tests that have been conducted. There were 4 tests that have been used in the study to achieve the objective of the project. Handling a test with a workability to get the accurate result from the slump test and reduce the possibility of the concrete failure. Next, the density test has been made for a numerous reasons, including its effect, durability, strength, and resistance. The compressive strength has been done according to the British standard, while the UPV test has been done according to the IS 13311 1992.
I'm going to explain to you about the results that have been obtained after assessing the strength of concrete using design of experiment DOE method. One of the 28-day sample was made the actual design strength, which is 26.43 Newton per millimeter square after being compressed. It is because as the number of curing days grew, so the concrete compressive strength also increased as well. Also, for the UPV test, the average data that been achieved, which is 4 km per second velocity pulse for the 28 days of curing. In this chapter, the density of concrete also have been discussed. As you can see, the table and the graph are from the data of the concrete sample for the density of concrete from the 7 days and 28 days of curing. From the data obtained, we get to know that the density of concrete directly influenced by the curing days. The graph shows that at the 7 days curing, the sample 3 is the maximum density, which is 2,330 kilograms per meter cubic, and the lowest density is from both curing day, which is 7 days and 28 days, for the sample 2, which is 2,290 kilograms per meter cubic.
So now I will get over the compressive strength of the concrete that we have been tested using compression test machine. Average compressive strength result for 7 days curing has exceeded 60% of the target strength, which is 35 MPa, and as shown, the result demonstrate that as the curing day rise, the value of compressive strength increase. The maximum average compressive strength was 26.43 Nm² after 28 days, which are already past the target strength of 35 Nm² as determined by the DOE method. Okay, next let's go to our second test result, which is ultrasonic pulse velocity, or known as UPV test. As we can see from the table, average travel time from day 7 to day 28 will reducing. After we make a calculation of pulse velocity, we can conclude that the less time taken for pulse to go through concrete, the higher pulse velocity is achieved. Clearly, from the graph, this study has met the target because the average pulse velocity for 7, 14 and 28 days samples has been in the target range. All samples are in good condition for concrete quality grading, which is the target grade for 25 MPa concrete.
The conclusion for this study is the number of curing days has a direct effect on the concrete strength, but not on the concrete specimen's impurity. In the compressive strength testing, the target strength of concrete was effectively met for this study, which is 25 Newton per millimeter square, and according to the data gathered, all of the target strength significantly grew as the curing day progresses. In the UPV testing, it can be concluded that the tests are sensitive techniques for analyzing the difference in concrete homogeneity and density. Also, the UPV test can provide a valuable information on how to make a decision on certain situations. It also assumes that the use of UPV tests can help with the management of degradation and the quality of concrete. Depending on this result for this study, certain recommendations can be made. First and foremost, the amount of water in the mixture must be lower. This is because the more water results in a large water to cement ratio. Excess water can produce larger spaces between the aggregate materials, which can fill with water as the moisture evaporates. Next recommendation is that aggregate use must change in terms of their types and gradation, since aggregate accounts 60 to 80% of the volume and 70 to 85% of the mass of the concrete. Plus, aggregate is essential for the use in the concrete strength and thermal and elastic qualities, dimensional and volume. And that's all from me explaining about the conclusion and recommendation for this study. This is the references that we use throughout our research study, and all the references we use suitable based on our project. Last but not least, all of our group members sincerely appreciate that we have this opportunity to present our project which is the assessment of standard concrete under damaged and undamaged condition using non-destructive tests and DIPLOMA method. And thank you so much for your interest and attention.